Hey everybody, Shandon here. Today we're talking with Mike Pointer, founder of Hey I Saw Your Commercial. You can find him at heyisawyourcommercial.com. Mike has been a commercial acting coach for the last 20 years and we're so excited that you're here with us. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about your specific acting curriculum. Could you explain a little bit how you teach, the classes that you offer, and how your studio differs from other commercial acting studios?
I find most coaches do not teach the actor business skills, right? They have no idea the things that are going to come up that they're going to need help with.
Most university settings don't teach their students business skills.
That's right. They play to the actor's ego by keeping them on camera and performing because they know the actor, I want to get in front of the camera, right? And it's like, but there's more than just performing.
So you would really say that that's kind of what puts you, above other similar commercial coaches, is that you really offer a mentorship in the business of the business, not just, what you're doing during that, middle section of auditioning, but what you're doing before and after and how you negotiate and navigate the business.
Program, on camera and business coaching. Every actor gets like this thick binder. All my curriculum is in there. Yeah, it is the best program out here because not only is the curriculum outstanding, but then they have the support of me. Even when I check my phone, I'm sure several of my actors will have emailed me because they need help. Oh, Coach, I'm at an audition. It says this. What do you think? Should I do this or that? Or Coach, they said callbacks are this afternoon, but I got to be over here. How do I handle that? Coach, I have an audition. This is crazy for the busy actor. Coach, I have an audition for theatrical at 11 a.m. And then my other agent gives me an audition for a commercial at 11 a.m. Like, how do I handle that? I want to go on both. I don't want to tell one no. I need both of them. How do I handle that? Simple. Because I dealt with that when I was performing.
Yeah.
And then I learned commercials usually have oftentimes a 1, 2, or 3 hour window. You can go anytime between noon and 3. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's an hour window. Sometimes you can go early, or you can even call casting, find out what the window is, and tell them, I'm Mike Pointer. I'll be there. I'm just running a little behind from another call.
Yeah, and they actually probably welcome the fact that you're a working actor and you have several auditions in one place.
And courteous enough and business-like enough to call ahead because they know you're going to run into conflicts.
And it's great that you have the kind of relationship with your clients that you're able to help them navigate that as a friend and a mentor.
Yes.
And not just somebody that says, okay, this is how you hit your mark and this is how you say your lines.
Right. Yeah, I think what makes my coaching really effective is that I give my clients full 100% access to me. Because many of my clients have told me about their other coaching experiences. They say, Coach Mike, our other teacher, they don't even allow you to ask them questions. They don't even allow you to engage them. They sit strategically in the room, so you only have so much, your access is limited to them. And I'm like, what? And I said, because my actors have my cell phone and my email address. So if they need me outside of the classroom, they have me. I thought all coaches did that.
Yeah, I would think that if you're helping somebody, that you need to become available to those people.
Yeah. And but they don't. They say no questions. Some have even said everything you need to know, I'm going to teach you. There's no way I could build my practice all these years if that was my philosophy, because old Chinese proverb, the teacher should learn more than the student. The only way I'm going to learn beyond what I already know is to get their input, listen to their questions, bring on their problems, which I teach them. You don't call them problems, they're challenges, and we learn and grow from challenge on up to opportunity.
You have a theory that there are 3 frames to pretty much everything, but specifically to auditioning for commercial work. Can you explain to us what those 3 frames are?
Absolutely. There's the beginning of the audition, which most actors think is when they say, and action. No, that's the second frame. The first frame is when you actually enter the room. That's the first frame in the 3 frames in casting lesson that I teach, because the actor must understand that you're already auditioning as soon as that door is open and the assistant says, okay, Mike Pointer, come on in, right? The producers are there with their clipboard and they're watching and they're taking notes. This used to fry me when I'd walk in and I'd see the producers just, with this dim kind of look on their face. I remember it happened to me for theatrical one time. I wanted to say, excuse me, what are you writing about me? Because it's like, that's terrifying me. They're actually taking notes. It's like, yeah, that's their job. We're casting a multi-million-dollar production here. Yeah. Of course, we're taking notes. But the actor has to learn, like, how do I walk in a room? Like, not just feet over the other walking in, but what do I do? What do I say? Most actors don't know. So there's the first frame in casting. The second frame is your performance frame, right? Of course we got to perform well. Sometimes you go to producers, you don't know what they're going to ask you to do. They switch it. They change it up from the first audition. So we must, what I call, again, another 3, execute the triad of audition excellence, which is listening, understanding, and execution. That's another 3, right? Another trinity. So that's we have the second frame experience. Then when we leave the room, we have the third frame, which is I have to leave in an excellent manner. I can't just buy or let the wheels fall off when I leave the room, right? I've got to understand there's an entrance, audition, and exit process.
About social media, there's a big push now to have followers and to become an influencer, and I feel like there's a lot of people spending a lot of time creating content and being online. What do you think is important for actors to do in regards to social media as far as Instagram and Facebook? And do you recommend a lot of emphasis be put on that?
Well, see, yeah, there's a Game of Thrones actress, and her name fails me right now. She says in Jenna's book that she booked the role on Game of Thrones because she found out because she had more social media followers than a woman that she believed was far more talented than she. So yes, over the last several years, I'll even see audition notices. It'll say something to the effect of, we favor those that have the more social media following, the better. Those that have at least 10,000 followers on Instagram, please submit. And some of my veteran actors, this is like frying their brain. They are upset about it. And I tell them, you can spend your time being upset all you want and let your dream float right on by. And when you're in your feelings and all that, learn social media. I teach them. I got to do the same thing. Yeah, I'm resistant to it. And I wish it was the old way. And I'm wishing it. And you can't wish your way into success. So I'm teaching them, you must, at least at a fundamental level. You can get started on YouTube. Just get started on YouTube. Social media, a gazillion instructors on there on how to at least get started. Yes, they're going to have something to offer you. Take our program. Can't be afraid to spend money to invest in your business. Social media, it's really important. It's built-in viewership because they know that when you book, you're going to unleash it out on social media, and your followers, maybe half of them. I got 10,000 followers on Facebook, then maybe 4,000 will watch, maybe 5. I got 60,000 Instagram, well, maybe we get 30,000 people to pay attention then. It's a staple. It's a built-in audience. Even the Avengers, see, I don't believe, because I didn't see it, I don't think they spend as much dollars on advertising on television as they did through their Instagram and their Twitter accounts. See, they got free publicity to a degree that way.
Well, sure, and they've got one of the biggest casts in history, and every single one of them is on their social media.
Look at that.
Plugging it.
Yes.
And I mean, of course it's going to be the biggest film of all time.
Yep.
Just look at the cast.
Yep. Has to be learned. It's like when improv became such a big staple, especially in commercials. And then, you have your big improv schools that open up and promoting more, right? Improv. You couldn't run around saying, I hate improv. I'm not good at it. It don't matter what we feel. What matters is what's required. What do I have to do in order to live this dream? Yeah. So it's really, really important. I mean, again, I'm learning it myself. There's a social media proprietor, young man, Brendan Kane. He's responsible for Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber launching and having the following that they have. I'm learning from him right now. Brendan Kane just purchased. They send you a free book, and I just, because I'm really green on it, I'm getting better at it, but it's really becoming a hunger for me.
And you see the notices in the breakdowns as far as like, higher social media following preferred, even for commercials.
Yes,
Yeah.
yep. Because it's built-in viewership. Because they know, especially the 18 to 34 demographic, they're going to be, hey, I mean, it's a way to promote yourself, and stay on it, because the average human being really focused on the time, the amount of time that we can waste throughout the day, and how in 10 minutes you can get a truckload of work done in 10 minutes just by taking these bits and chunks of time out of the day to put our head down and work like crazy. Work the way we're supposed to work for an employer that employs us on an 8-hour shift, save 30 minutes for lunch. But really work. The employer expects us to work on 8-hour shifts, 7.5 hours of work. If no customers are here, grab a rag, start wiping. Wipe, get a broom, sweep, always something to do. And so the actor has to work just as diligently.
So what advice would you give to people who are brand new to the industry, just moving to LA, just getting started? What would you say to them?
So there's this popular misconception about how to start your career, or many misperceptions and conceptions on how to start your career. Like the average actor that moves to LA, they're in this big market and they figure, well, if I go to a place or talk to someone that's an actor, I'll just ask them the question, how do I start my acting career? And the average person is going to say, take an acting class of some sort. And so that is not the first step. So the number one way for the actor to start their career, first they need to understand the importance of becoming at least SAG eligible. And the best way to do that is not going and doing extra work, trying to get 3 vouchers, right? It could take, this is like 3 time cards they give you. Most call them vouchers. And then that makes me eligible to join SAG, or SAG eligible, right? But that's a game in and of itself. It can take who knows how long for an actor to get 1 voucher.
Yeah.
Some actors say, well, I got 5 vouchers in 1 week. I wore the same uniform 5 days in a row on a TV show. So I got all 5. And I say, yeah, and you're still doing background, right? And they say, well, yeah. And it's like, okay, so that's the trap of doing background. If you don't have an exit plan, then you're going to continue to do background because you have bills to pay. The best way to start is through television commercials. You don't need to be a part of the union like you do for television and film, right? Most legitimate agents are not going to sign an actor that's not at least SAG eligible. It's like it's like a person that's trying to get a job at IBM and they don't even have a high school diploma. They don't care how smart the person says they are. They say, but I build computers. It's like, but you don't even have a high school diploma. I mean, come on, right? That's so basic, that's so elementary, right? So it's the same for the actor if you're not at least SAG eligible. Now, the quickest way to get a good agent is to like learn, like what are the steps to getting a great agent? Well, first you need skills. You don't need experience. Again, actors say, oh, I don't have any experience. Who did when they started? Who was born with experience? Until they got their first experience, they had none. So you need skills. So TV commercials are the most productive way. All you got to do is book one, not do multiple months and years doing background and try to get 3 vouchers. The pay is great. You're a working principal on national television with a director that could possibly also direct television shows and films, like Joe Pytka, like the Russo brothers, many of them. Ridley Scott, when he's not shooting movies, he shoots TV commercials out of his production company. I think still over on Lapeer in West Hollywood. So that is the way for the actor to start their career. Do they take acting classes? Yes, but as I teach my actor, you don't put your shoes on, then try to pull your pants over your shoes. You might accomplish it, but your arms are going to be worn out and going to be saying plenty of things that shouldn't come out of your mouth about how stupid the pants are, and the pants aren't stupid. It's just you put the pants on, then you put your shoes on. So yes, they're going to take an acting class, but it has to be done in the right order. And again, what I love about commercials, you get a chance to get in front of a camera and learn how to audition. Most acting classes don't have cameras. If you do, if they do, they're not performing straight to lens. They're performing to their scene partner. And that's a different experience and training mode as opposed to going on a commercial audition and mostly everything you do is straight to lens.
One of the reasons we recommend people take your class is because you kind of are able to prepare them for an agency showcase, where you invite different agencies to come in and take a look at their work. Can you speak a little bit more about your agency showcases?
What I do now for the last at least 18 years, I've held at my studio a commercial agent showcase. And what we do, because I understand the importance of the actor getting the skills, the performance skills, getting a good agent, and then auditioning, callbacks, avails, bookings, build a career, set stage the platform for success for television and film, on up the chain of command. But the actor needs to understand that they've got to sign with a top agent. It used to be many showcase companies, it's changed, but some of the agents that would come to showcases aren't as popular or valuable. So what I get the actor to do is understand I only call top agents in. They're at least top 40 agents. No less than a top 50 agent, but most of the time they're top 40. And the actor gets a chance to get up and perform like we do a cold read. Because what I do is I train my actors to do freezing cold reads. That's where you have really no prep time at all, right? You got to get up and you got to hit it. I'm training them for this. So when they go on an audition, it's mainly for when they go on an audition and it's like last minute and they have no prep time. They already know how to read. They learned that in the second grade or so. So now all they have to do is learn how to perform like right there on the spot. So the agents know that some come up with prepped commercial copy. Most do freezing cold reads, like a 30-second piece of a commercial copy, either solution or problem solution. Then they answer an improv question, which the agents seem to be more interested in the improv than they are the copy reads, because they know most castings are improv today for TV commercials. I get a chance to put their work down, but the third element of the showcase is Q&A, which is really important, Q&A. So again, the first is the copy read, another triad. Second is the improv, and then third is the Q&A session, where now it's the agents, we turn the chairs around and they're facing the actors. So the agents there's 3 agents, and the actors like 30 faces looking at the agents, all with this wanting look on their face. So I teach them, watch your resting face, make sure you have a winsome look on your face when you're seated, not, this look like I'm terrified or I'm about to go to sleep or bored, right? So we do Q&A, which is really the third part of the audition process, where you get a chance to stand up and with a smile deliver your name, give your name, and then ask a question. Yes. And then the agents give their feedback. And I kind of guide them on what questions to ask as well, or to pay attention that you don't ask a question that was already asked by someone earlier. Right. To number one, keep them from answering the same question or having to say, we already covered that. And then number two, just kind of wasting time. And then,
because the point is to make a good impression.
Yes.
And it's not just about getting up and asking the questions. It's asking the right questions.
And to show I was paying attention throughout the whole project. I'm not phasing out because I'm not talking, right? So it's 3 parts to it, and they go really, really well. It's professionally run. That's why the agents keep coming back to me, because they say, this Mike Pointer guy runs a tight ship. Everything I do is structured.
And you offer these showcases every single month.
Yep.
That's
for
amazing.
18 years now.
What would you say is your proudest moment or most rewarding moment as an instructor?
One of the ones the moments that really stand out is I had a client, Leslie, and she came to me, and I don't know what it was. She had a bad skin condition. It was like she had a rash, or a breakout, because I had seen her once before in an audit, and she was like, I want to take your course. And she comes and she has a rash on over her whole face. But she'd get on camera as if her skin was fine, and maybe she kind of blocked it out or whatever. And real sweetheart young lady. And she had pulled me to the side after class and said, I'm really glad I'm taking your class because, I want to learn, and I've, faced some discouragement. She said, one agent told me I can't, it's going to be hard for me to work because I'm African American and my skin problem and this and that and so on, right? And I just said, oh, who told you this and blah, blah, blah. And so she told me she had an audition for Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. She said, do you think that my skin will be a problem? I said, you have to let go. If you're going to go on the audition, just like it seems that you do in class, just shine, be yourself, forget the skin, go in, be the person your best friends know you to be. You got a wonderful personality, great smile, right? Focus on what you control, the whole thing. I was at the beach one day, on a day I had off, one of the few. She called my cell phone in tears. She said, I booked the Royal Caribbean cruise. She said, it's $10,000. We get to go on a ship for six days. She said, when she got back, she said, we worked 6 hours and the rest of the time was ours on the cruise.
Amazing.
And she was crying on the phone. She said, could you encourage me? You helped me. I think that was my most heartfelt experience with an actor, is that, for her to make me a part of it, to say I was a part of her success and the way she felt about herself. Because I'd seen her a month or two later, her face cleared up, everything was fine. It was just some kind of temporary skin condition that she had.
And clearly it was something that could be covered with makeup. But
yes.
It was doing more to her self-esteem
Yep.
than it was doing to the reality of her booking.
Just like they did. I mean, they did the makeup. I saw the spot. It wasn't like they were doing close-up shots of her anyway. She was with a family. She had a husband and 2 children. And, everything worked out in the end. And that, I'll never forget that moment. Because, I was away from my office. I'm, at the beach. But she calls with that kind of disruption in her voice. And she was saying, I booked the job. And I just want to thank you. And it was her first commercial also.
And it's so true. I feel like actors in general and people in general, we see things about ourselves that nobody else really sees. And what really doesn't matter. But we create these stories in our head that discourage us, that put ourselves down. When in reality, that isn't what's going on in the auditioner's mind at all.
Right.
And it's great that you have the kind of relationship with your clients that you're able to help them navigate that as a friend and a mentor, and not just somebody that says, okay, this is how you hit your mark and this is how you say your lines.
Right.
Well, I'd like to thank you for being with us today. We really enjoyed this.
Thank you for having me.
So
I had a ball.
Yeah. Yes. And make sure that you check out Mike Pointer at heyisawyourcommercial.com. He has agency workshops coming up as well as ongoing classes. Thanks again for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.